Kenny Dillingham is better than Deion Sanders. Yeah, I said it. In 2024, Kenny Dillingham, the head coach of the Arizona State Sun Devils football team, is better than Deion Sanders, head coach of the Colorado Buffaloes. Now, I don't mean that as a slight to Deion. He's been fantastic this season with the Buffaloes, but he's not the best coach in the Big 12, let alone the best coach in the country. There's been buzz about Deion winning the Coach of the Year for college football, but I'd argue that Kenny Dillingham actually has a better chance of winning Coach of the Year, or at least he should, in both the Big 12 and in college football as a whole. Why is that? Because Kenny Dillingham has done more with less than Deion Sanders has done up in Boulder. Let's take it a step back. I don't mean it as a slight to Deion. I really don't. What he's done is impressive. He's turned around a CU squad that was terrible before he arrived there from Jackson State and turned them into a conference powerhouse this season and a team that still has a shot at the Big 12 title as we head into the season's final weekend. He had advantages though. He's Deion freaking Sanders. He's a Hall of Fame NFL player. If you grew up in the 90s, you know all about Neon Deion. You know that he was a two-sport athlete. You watched him with the Falcons, the Cowboys, the 49ers, the Baltimore Ravens even at the end of his career. You know who Deion Sanders is. So you know where that gives him a leg up? In recruiting. When he goes into a living room of a student, guess whose parents know who Deion is? Guess whose parents probably watched Deion while they were growing up? Not to mention, Deion Sanders, after that, was on television for years as an analyst with NFL Network. You saw him on ESPN. You saw him in commercials. Hell, you still see him in commercials. Affleck! He is a national powerhouse. He also had the advantage over Kenny Dillingham when it came to head coaching experience. Sure, Jackson State is not a Division I school, but Jackson State got as much attention as Arizona State football got when Deion was there. Deion turned that into a powerhouse, winning over 11 games twice and going undefeated in his conference twice. Not to mention he then got to cherry pick those players and bring them with him to Colorado, with 11 guys transferring to Colorado, including his son. NIL money, Deion has the advantage over Kenny Dillingham as well. Reportedly, 3 guys on Colorado's roster combined to make $8 million this year. Shedeur and Shiloh Sanders and Travis Hunter. Shedeur Sanders himself made $6.2 million in NIL money this year. The fact that Deion has star power has given him a huge advantage on the NIL front. And that's not a knock again. Good on him for getting more money for his players. Good on him for upping his program by using his star power to get people he knows and that know him to invest in Colorado's football team. But that's why Kenny Dillingham deserves Coach of the Year over Deion Sanders. His team's been better on the field, and off it, Kenny Dillingham didn't have those advantages. Kenny Dillingham wasn't a head coach. Kenny Dillingham wasn't known nationally at all. Kenny Dillingham is the youngest coach in college football this year at 34 years old. Yeah, 34 years old. Kenny Dillingham's team hopes someday to have $7 to $7.5 million in NIL money to stay competitive in the Big 12. Overall, not just in 3 players like Deion has, $8 million invested in his 3 main guys. Every step of the way, Kenny Dillingham has not had the advantages that Deion Sanders has to compete in the Big 12. Sure, everybody talks about where the media picked Colorado to finish in the conference. ASU was picked to finish dead last, just behind Colorado. But guess what? Kenny Dillingham, back in August, was ranked by CBS Sports as the worst coach in the Big 12 as well. That worst coach now leads the conference at 9-2 and has a shot to win the whole thing as the team takes on Arizona in the Territorial Cup on Saturday. Kenny Dillingham is a hometown kid making good. When he showed up, he wanted to activate the Valley, and he's done just that.
So buy your tickets, donate to keep our team, right? And let's repeat next year, and let's try to run it back at home. Thank y'all. Go Devils. Activate the Valley, baby.
And along the way, he's captured the nation's imagination with his post-game press conferences on ESPN and just in front of the local media.
We fought, man. We competed. That's what football's about, competing. What impressed you the most?
Kenny Dillingham is now a viral star. ASU football is once again on the map, having won the biggest game in decades at Sun Devil Stadium on Saturday against BYU. Kenny Dillingham, regardless of what happened Saturday in Tucson, is the Big 12 Coach of the Year. He's the National Coach of the Year. And he's by far better this season than what Deion Sanders has done in Colorado.